Rivian has experienced a significant surge in its stock price, with shares up over 36% in the last month. Today, we're here to take a closer look. Let's get into it. Glad to have you back for some more analysis today, Thomas. So as you know, we're talking about Rivian, which has been on an impressive run lately. Several days ago, the stock was negative year to date, but now with this recent surge, it's put shares up around 6% year to date. So what we're looking at here, is this something that investors should jump into, or do we need to wait for further confirmation here, further price stability, Thomas? Or is this a case of another EV company riding the coattails of Tesla?
Well, to a degree, they're all riding the coattails of Tesla because Tesla is the cutting edge, the leading edge of the EV market, and it did report some pretty stunning delivery numbers. But Rivian is moving up on production. It produced more cars and delivered more cars than expected, proving that there's demand for the vehicles and that the company can scale. That's important for the EV OEMs and the outlook for profitability. I mean, they have to be able to scale to meet their margin goals. Compared to the other EV OEMs, Rivian is the leader outside of Tesla as far as scaling production, ramping production, and being able to deliver cars. Now, remember, Rivian makes an unusual lineup with its two, I'll call them adventure vehicles. It's a truck and an SUV, but they're not really part of the mainstream SUV or truck market. They're operating in a niche environment, and they've also got their Amazon contract, which is a large part of their business, and that accounts for about 20% of production right now.
All right, so of course we reported on Rivian on MarketBeat this week, and we can't go without mentioning that they crushed their Q2 delivery estimates. That's always a hot question around companies like this one, Thomas. Are they producing? Are they delivering? Or is it just talk? For Rivian, they for sure are delivering. This company was off to a slow start, as we've seen, but the growing pains that are paying off. Is there anything investors need to note here, Thomas?
Well, they're scaling well, and there's demand for the car, so that's really good. But I think the really big opportunity right now is the van business. Amazon is a big part of Rivian's business. They're working on 100,000 van order. That should keep them busy for quite a few years. But the question really is if Amazon will let that deal expand to other businesses. The Amazon deal is exclusive. They can only sell these vans to Amazon. If they're able to open up the van to other end markets, it would be a huge boost to their revenue. And you got to think that there is a huge demand for EV delivery vehicles. We're talking about a 20% compound annual growth rate expected for EV vans over the next few years. And I think that could be a really low estimate once vans start ramping production, because the companies like Walmart and Amazon, who have these huge fleets, FedEx, UPS, they all want to electrify.
Well, those Amazon cars, those vans are going to be busy, sure, around the prime days for sure. But what are the analysts saying about Rivian?
Well, the analysts have started to raise their targets. The word on the street, the whisper, is that the company is at an inflection point. Production is expected to continue ramping and drive top-line results. Margin improvement should come with scale. Profitability is getting closer. So analysts are raising their price targets for the first time in several quarters. That's very significant because it's marking a bottom in the sentiment, and you can see that in the chart.
Well, speaking of charts, I was going to ask this, but can you pull up your chart and show us what you're seeing on a technical basis here?
I really wouldn't call this a solid bottom yet, but the stock is absolutely showing some signs of life. What we want to see now is for the price action to continue moving higher and then spark a correction. The correction will show us where the market really is, where solid support can be found, and that will give us our next clue and our entry point for the market. If the market can make a higher low or reconfirm support at the current lows, we can start talking about a bottom. And then the next question will be, when will the reversal happen?
All right, guys, if you like Thomas's stock chart analysis, good news. He's going to be starting a series right here on this channel where he goes over how to use stock charts for your investment strategy. Great things to come, so stay tuned. Thomas, I was eavesdropping on our internal editorial channel the other day, lurking, I guess, not listening. But it seems most of our contributors think at the end of the day, there's going to be a handful of EV companies that make it. Obviously, those that won't make it. Where do you put Rivian between all that?
Well, I think that's a good call. The EV OEMs are working hard, and Rivian may come out on top. The catch is that the car market is dominated by the big players, who will likely scoop up the small EV startups once they prove they can produce cars. I mean, think about this. How many boutique automakers exist in the ICE market? There aren't very many. So we really can't expect these EV OEM boutique automakers to continue to operate independently. They're going to reach a point where they have to get bought up in order to get the scale they need. But the other option, which is probably the more likely outcome, is that the big OEMs will choose to outcompete the smaller players. Ford, GM, Toyota, all the big boys are leaning hard into EVs. And Ford especially is spending billions on big plans that could lead to a spinoff of their EV segment, even though the company says that's not really an option. I see it as a possibility.
Well, it's certainly a competitive landscape out there, Thomas. Rivian has made impressive strides, but the challenge of going up against established automotive giants can't be ignored. But it's going to be interesting to see how they navigate this evolving market. Thank you so much for your insights today, Thomas, and thank you all for joining us. Don't forget that I will be linking some articles down below so you can do some further research. We'll be keeping an eye on this company right here at MarketBeat. And until the next video, happy investing. Thanks, Thomas.